planes and trains, suitcases and neck pillows. You are now tuned in to the Disneyholics show.
Hello and welcome to the Disneyholics show. That's Mike TV.
And that's Jim Dews.
Adventure awaits, so grab your suitcases as we embark on a journey by air, ground, and sea. Today, we will be sharing our personal favorite travel tips, Disneyholics style. So today is July the 3rd, and tomorrow is 4th of July. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of us here in the America. In the America?
In the America.
I almost said the Americas, and I'm like, wait, that's not even correct. In the United States.
American Pavilion of Epcot. There we go.
Thank you. A happy 4th of July. I'm excited to hear about your 4th of July because it's going to be the first time you don't have to worry about it, right?
It is true. I keep forgetting about it because there's no fireworks or anything happening right now in Guadalajara, Mexico. But we have a really good view if there was a night of fireworks, and I've seen it for like just other random things. So I'm hoping that somewhere out there, they're still doing it, whether it's a theme or actual Americans celebrating. I will find out how that goes. Yeah.
That would be pretty funny. I'm excited for your puppies to have a night of rest instead.
It would be nice, yeah. Oh my gosh, you would love it lately. So much thunder and lightning, like full on like National Geographic, like what?
And it's like, is it a warm?
Yeah, and it's warm with a cool breeze when it ends. So it's like nice.
It's like my favorite.
But yeah, the doggos not having it. Captain is very scared of the thunder.
Oh, poor guys. Well, yes, once again, happy 4th of July to everyone here in America, and please don't burn the house down.
Or if anyone is going to have fun at the parks, I know they usually do a one night only show, fireworks for this. Yeah.
4th of July nighttime spectacular.
Lucky.
That is right. Yes. Should be nice and toasty, especially here in the Bay Area. So keep cool. And I just wanted to, before we get into the bulk of the show, I wanted to quickly talk about The Empire Strips Back. Now, this is a Star Wars burlesque parody. I went again this year. Again, ton of fun. Just hilarious. So much fun. My favorite thing about it was because I already know the show now, was watching the new people that I brought. Shout out to Nicole. She listens to the show. She came with us and got to like see her reactions to parts of the show that are pretty shocking and hilarious. So much fun. You guys should all check it out. Yeah, I got some Star Wars noises on tap.
Cute. That sounds fun.
It is. It really is. It goes through all the way like mid-September or something. So there's plenty of shows to go to. It's in San Francisco, in Chinatown. Affordable. And I would also like to say I would suggest going on the busier nights. Usually you would think like, why would I want to go on a busier night, right? Weird. It's like crowded and crazy, but your tickets are seated. So you will always have a place to sit your butt. So you don't have to worry about a seat not being there for you. However, this is one of those shows that needs the audience energy, or like at least for me, it's a lot better if there's a lot of energy. When we went, it was a Sunday afternoon showing and it was half empty. And it was like, there was definitely a little bit lacking to it because of that. So I would suggest like a Saturday night, Friday night, go up, go big, get there early so you can get the best seats in your section, because it's kind of how they seat. There's like, if you pick section A or section B, you get seated in a bulk of seats and you get to pick your seat there. So get earlier so you can just get good seats. And if you want merch, buy it before the show or during intermission, because they do not let you buy it after. So I was going to actually buy merch and put it. Yeah, I know.
What happened to exit through the gift shop? That's how it's supposed to work.
I know. I did exit through the gift shop and they weren't selling anything. So
That's so stressful, especially if you're thinking, oh, I have until later to go look at it
Yeah,
and
I
get
was
it.
like, I
Yeah.
don't want to grab it right now and I have to like hold it in my seat and like I'll probably forget it or something. So I just wanted to grab it after, but couldn't. So I missed out there. But nonetheless, a very good time. Something really cool to do if you're up here in the Bay Area. And it does travel.
Yeah.
So when you see
Yeah,
it
it
pop
was
up.
in New York. Empire Strikes
Mhm.
Back, New York. I missed it, took it for granted. It was there. I'm like, oh, it's here now. And then it's gone. And I
And
moved.
then it was just gone before you knew
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. I swear, you guys, if you know your Star Wars at all, especially the original trilogy, like you will really like it. Even if you don't understand it, it's still like a really fun show. And the burlesque is light. If you're scared off by the burlesque part, it's very light. If you're an adult, I'm sure you can handle it. Like it's not super intense. So
Are we talking
anyway,
like
very cool.
nipples and like Speedos or more
Like
like,
you never see a nipple. You
oh,
might see a couple pasties.
all right.
But even that, it's like they usually do like a flash at the end of like the frontal nudity. It's just like one quick hit and then the lights go out. It's like a
Oh,
tease
I
almost,
like
like
that.
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then the rest of the show is in like strip teasing almost, like where they're like pulling their like Jedi cloak off to the side to like show their hip, right? And like stuff like that. So it's like
Ooh.
that kind of like dance, but it's like really live music. Also, the not live, like live band, but like hype music. Like they play like very big songs that a lot of people know, and it really, I don't know,
Well, it's
it's more
pop
fun
music, right?
than
Not Star
sexy or
Wars
weird.
theme songs. Pop music.
Lots of Star Wars music,
Oh,
but a lot of pop also.
that's
It's almost the
cool.
same, and I've noticed this with burlesque too. If you're familiar with drag, it often follows the same format where it has like, especially if there's a theme. So like, let's say Disney drag is often like somebody comes out in drag as Belle, let's say, and they'll play like
Little
one of the songs from Beauty and
town
the Beast,
full
and
of
then they'll
little
go
people.
to a pop song after,
Oh, I
right?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
remember
similar to that.
the New York Disney drag specifically did that, right? The one we went to.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It just
I think
makes you
all of
laugh.
the themed ones I've been to have done that same exact format. So pretty solid to expect that type of music. So, but it was very fun nonetheless. All right. So I was thinking about what to do for today's episode, and I had discovered something recently that I will get to in a little bit during our talk here. But I thought it would be fun because you and I have done a decent amount of traveling. You've done way more traveling than I have. But together we've kind of come up and we talk about this a lot, like
Mhm.
just these random things you figure out as you travel more often. And then also just things you discover that you didn't even know existed. So I was like, why don't we just put this together? Because a lot of people listening to our show are traveling to go to
Yeah.
Disney parks. So this might not be very specific to Disney, but it can all be related of how to get to and from and while you're staying there in Disney parks. So um I kind of divided this up into groups. Like this first one, I put getting there,
Ooh.
planes, trains, and automobiles. So I just thought we'd throw our ideas in of like the actual travel aspect of getting to the destination. And the first thing I have on my list is TSA pre-check versus global entry. And the
Wait,
reason I wanted to bring this up,
I think I have a sound for you.
oh,
Oh, maybe not. I thought that was the the railroad announcer, but it just says railroad loop. But I was gonna get you
hilarious. I was
started
like,
with the
that's like a
travel.
song from Main Street, okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so TSA PreCheck was the first one that I purchased, and then I moved into global entry because I knew I was going to be going to Mexico and Canada that year, so I got global entry. Both of them are within $100, right? I think they're like $100
I think
for 3 years.
199 for global entry. I think
How much was it? 99?
199. I think
Oh,
global
really?
entry.
I
Not
don't remember
sure.
paying that much. So maybe 200. I can't remember what it was, but it's pretty affordable, and you get it for 3 to 5 years, depending on which one you have. Um, one of the best purchases I have ever made, you guys. I
One
do not
hundred
like
dollars. $100.
100. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
$100. I think TSA was like 75 or something. So it's just a little
Oof!
bit
It will
less.
increase to 120 October 1st, 2024. You heard it
You
here
better get
first.
in.
Disneyholics told you
Better get
120.
in now. Save that 20 bucks.
There you
You're
go. Could
welcome.
use that for a churro or two.
Yeah, there you go. Or maybe one by the time we get to Disneyland again because of inflation. Lordy. All right. So, one of the best purchases I ever bought. This is one of those things where I thought I was paying to cut the line, like a lightning lane or Genie Plus, whatever we're trying to call it nowadays. But what actually came out of it was so much more, and it was not having to strip down. You don't take your shoes, your jacket off. You don't have to empty the contents of your bag, your liquids, nothing. It's just like put your bag that you are literally, you don't even have to open it, put it on the conveyor belt. They don't even have bins usually for you to put a bunch of junk in because you don't have to unload anything. You can leave your laptop in there, your game system, whatever. That goes through, you go fully clothed through the scanner,
Fully clothed.
and it's not even that like, what?
I love it. Fully clothed.
It's amazing. It's the best thing
It
ever. I
is.
can't like
No hoodies off, no jackets off. You can keep your shoes on,
shoes on,
unless you
all the
have
things.
Birkenstocks. I learned they make you take
The
them off
belt
because the buckle.
or the the
Yep.
buckle
So
sets off the
now
alarm.
I do it ahead of time.
That's
But at
hilarious.
least there's still sliders, so it takes a second. But
Yeah, true, true.
that is a bummer. So make sure you're wearing the right proper TSA pre-check approved shoes.
And so yeah, so very worth it in my opinion. And of course you get to cut the lines, which helps a lot depending on the airports you're using. Sometimes like when I go to Long Beach, it doesn't really matter. There's never anybody there. But still just like not having to like unload and reload and repack and all the stuff in your luggage. Like it's just night and day difference. So the only real difference as far as functionality between the two of them is if you're going to be traveling international. But again, it's like a long term, so it's not much more to just go for global. So if you think you're going to be traveling internationally, grab the global entry. Best purchase. Thanks, Mike, for talking me into that one.
Yeah, and it is an all-inclusive thing. So once you get the global entry and you pay the $100, it comes with the domestic TSA pre-check to get that better screening process. And I'm looking at the price right now. TSA pre-check is $78. So for $22 more, you get the full global version of it.
Right.
And it's the best when you're coming back in from another country. You just are expedited back into the US.
Yeah, that was crazy. The difference, like if you even think you're going to travel internationally in the next few years, it's worth the $20 just for the safeguard because that experience was totally different. Like customs just takes forever, but you
Yeah,
have this
normally.
global entry. It's just like you go over to a little computer, you don't even talk to a person half the time, and you just like walk in. Is amazing. It's
Real
super, super
nice.
quick.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is my first tip.
That is a very
Second
good
of
one.
a or second tip, I've never done this, but I've seen people recommend this many times, and it is kind of smart. And that's to take photos of your documents and your and screenshots of your um like your boarding pass and stuff. I usually always just use my phone. I don't print the boarding pass out. So sometimes though, I have gotten up to the front and my phone is not loading and I can't get to my boarding pass. So I've now started taking screenshots of it like from my home before I even head to the airport. And then I have it on my camera instead. So it's like I don't need to access any internet or Wi-Fi or anything to get that going. So just remember to do that. The taking photos of your documents is more like your passport and stuff, just for backups in case anything goes wrong on your trip. If you lose it, it might be a little easier to figure things out if you have some type of information of your own documents in case you lose them, etc. I also, when I've done that, I also email it to myself. So then if I lose my phone, it's in my email. Some
That's
people take it
good.
another step further, print it out and put it in their luggage, but that's up to you.
Whoa,
I
that's
don't
a
have a
bit, that's
printer,
too
so
much. Too much
too much.
printing.
There's a step that you have to stop at, right?
You gotta stop at printing. I have a Google Drive, that folder that has all those things, and it has helped me 10,000 times over.
Right.
And even for like old stuff that's expired, I don't delete it. And sometimes I need to go back and look at that stuff, and it's all
Yeah.
there. You can access it when you have internet. And I love your idea about putting something in the photo so you don't need internet, because that's always my fear is like you're stuck in one of these places that requires mobile, and then what happens when there's no internet?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I've had that so many times and it's so embarrassing because I always like get annoyed with other people when they can't figure their phones out. And I get up there and I just like, I know how to get to it. It's just like not going. And I had it open like 10 minutes ago and I just, oh, it
The
makes me crazy.
worst.
So,
I hate it.
yep. Let's see what else. Okay. How or when to pack and how to not over or underpack. What are our strategies? I wanted to talk about this with you because I think we have very different packing strategies. When do
Uh-huh.
you choose to pack your bags for a Disney trip or any
I'm
trip?
gonna say I've come such a long way from how I used to pack and prep maybe 10 years ago has changed a lot. And I think that is because I've just become less um I'm thinking of Inside Out too. I'm trying to figure out which emotion was controlling the reasons why I do certain things. But like with anxiety, I always like the emotion of anxiety in Inside Out. I'm always thinking of what ifs. And for a long time, I would overpack, and I had like one of
Yes.
these massive suitcases. I can't even believe I was carrying that around. Like, how embarrassing. It was so huge that sometimes they would even have to put that oversized sticker on it. And it had like pretty much everything in my closet and on my shoe rack. And I only wore maybe like 20% of it. So once I got over the fact of thinking I need a special outfit or I need options every day, or what if I need this type of shoe, or what if I need this, I just stopped caring and then wear much less, even repeating like one bottoms instead of taking like 5 pairs of pants and shorts, just maybe bring one and then the other one that I'm wearing on the plane. That's it. And I don't have nothing's changed. So my anxiety was wrong. Like nothing, none of these what ifs were happening. And if they do, we just get it. Like you just go to the store and get it. Or
Yeah, it's just you
right.
can figure something out. It's not like we're
Yeah.
going to perish and
Yes,
die.
exactly. So that is something I think once you get over that, it changes how you pack. And then from then on, I've been pretty simple, just a few basics. And then I also like to leave out something that I want to buy and use there, like a hoodie, for example. And I won't bring it, and then
Okay.
I'll buy it on
That's
day
kind of fun.
one.
It's a nice little treat
Oh,
also.
I love it. Yeah, you get to go shopping on day one, get a souvenir. And especially if you need, if it's a necessity, like if it is cold, you're forced to make a decision and just buy the one you like when you see it. Oh, I
You're
love
like,
it.
oh
Everything about it.
man, I guess I
Yeah,
have to buy this really cool hoodie because I decided purposely not to pack one.
exactly. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Um, I or and when do you pack though?
Oh,
Your trip?
I didn't even answer the question. The actual
You did. You
question was,
answered the
oh, did
second
I?
half, which is
Okay.
often the problem when you ask more than one question in one
Oh,
phrase.
okay, okay, okay. Um, I pack the night before. I used to pack like 2 hours leading up to the Uber coming to pick me up. I would say this part, the when, didn't change until maybe like within the last year. For a long time, I still packed up until the very last second. But now I've enjoyed the mornings of after I started packing the night before. I'm like,
Right.
okay, because I still end
Ah,
up running
not
around
stressed out all day.
the morning of thinking of other things that I might have
Oh,
forgotten. So I wouldn't even have gotten to those. So yeah, it all works out packing the night before, but it took me what 40 something years to finally
right.
be not a procrastinator about packing.
That's hilarious. So I pack usually 2 to 3 days ahead of time usually, and there's
Wow.
the reason why though, is because I constantly think about it if I don't. I'm just, like, constantly thinking about it, and, like, if I'm going on a weird trip where there's, like, cosplay involved or just doing weird things where you need, like, specific outfits or specific things to take with you, I usually make like a text doc on my phone and start adding like bullet points of like, "Oh, don't forget to bring this and these weird things." And I won't put the normal stuff, but I'll put all the weird stuff. And then if I don't go ahead and pack, that list will be 700 miles long, right? So I just keep adding to it. But once
Oh
I
my
pack, I
goodness.
feel completed. And then the other thing I like about that is that then I have my suitcase like in the corner, which you think would be annoying because it's in the way, but no, it just gets me excited. I'm just like look at it and I'm like,
Yeah, you have a
I
trip
can't wait
coming.
to like leave and go on this trip that I'm totally packed and ready to leave on. So that's what I suggest. I also have like really gotten used to keeping like all of my like what am I trying to say? Like the toiletries and stuff that I bring every single time. I have a set of those that I never use any other time. So I just keep them in my luggage at all times,
Life
like my carry
changing.
on.
That is
Yeah,
life changing. I
it
started
is.
that maybe like less than a year ago, and just biting the bullet and getting duplicates and getting small
Yes,
ones.
duplicates. That's the big catch.
And then I
Like
don't
your
need to take it
toothbrush,
out.
right? You want your toothbrush, but like, do I need my exact toothbrush or can I have a travel
Yeah,
toothbrush? It's fine.
everything's a duplicate now, and I don't have to unpack my toiletries at all, except I think my
Yep.
shaver. That might be the only one thing. Do
Right.
it.
Yep.
That is a game changer. Do it.
Yeah. And then I guess for over and underpacking, I already said that. I just like pack when I'm like getting anxious about it to get over with. And I just kind of stop thinking about it. Um, and underpack, what I do for clothes, this is both over and underpack. I usually pack the amount of clothes I need, and then I'll do one extra shirt or top or whatever, and then two extra pairs of underwear and two extra pairs of socks because you don't know if you're going to go swimming or like whatever's going to
Shit your
happen,
pants.
oh, or you could shit your pants. I didn't want to go that direction, dang. But I mean, things can
Right.
happen.
Or a sweaty
So
day, humid. Yeah, lots of
yeah,
reasons to.
sometimes you just want to like change in the middle of the day and you have a fresh set. So I always do bring those. I mostly this is another thing I've been thinking about eliminating because I like hardly ever need to use them because I'm always in the park all day long. So it's one set of clothes, don't even have time to change, and then I just kind of waste them, but they're also small. So it's like whatever. But that's how I keep that down to a minimum. I used to bring like I don't know what shirt I'm gonna want, so I bring like 7
Right.
different shirts
The
for one
whole
day.
selection.
So
Like, just make the
that's gone.
decisions
Just
when you're
own it
packing.
and it's fine.
Yeah.
No one's gonna care about your t-shirt anyway.
And it's like all these other I'm good thinking of Disney trips specifically. You do all these other things in advance now with uh, the reservations and the dining and all that. So you might as well also pick your outfits in advance for each day
Yep.
and then
Just
just
got it
pack it
ready to go.
away. Yep,
And it's so less
I like
stressful
that.
when you're doing it ahead of time because you're like, oh, I've got all the time in the world to think about this. And like, here it is. And it's fine. It's like casual instead of like, oh, what am I doing? I'm forgetting this. And
And your
so, yeah,
future self will thank your past self because when you're unpacking, you don't have any choices. You're like, okay, they already picked it for me. This is what I'm going to.
right. Totally.
There you go. I will add one more thing to that, and I'm not a DVC sales member, but it does differ if I'm traveling somewhere where I know for sure there's a washer and dryer that's like free. And
Totally.
that's the best, right? You can pack almost half or a little more than half of the underwear or socks, for example. Like,
Totally.
the best.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's that.
So you heard about something that they are doing special on airlines. What
Ooh,
is
yeah.
that all about?
So I first started seeing it on TikTok, of course, where else these days do we discover things? But somebody was saying, and now a lot of people are doing it, you go onto the plane, and as you're boarding and saying hello to the flight attendant, you ask if you can talk to the pilot for a collector card. And then you go in, and the pilot kind of, like you meet the pilot at that little doorway, and he gives you a collector card, and each airline that participates in this they're like baseball cards, so they have one for each type of plane, each kind of plane, each edition of that
Oh, it's the
delta.
plane, not the pilot on the trading card?
Yeah, wait, this whole time
I was
you
like,
thought
that
it
is
was
like
the
kind of
pilot.
hilarious and cool, but like awkward as hell.
That would be cute. I would actually collect them if it was
Yeah.
the pilots. It'd be fun. You could play like Guess Who with it. um But yeah, no, it's for the plane. So like if you're a hobbyist and you love airplanes, I guess, or what is it called? Aeronautics. If you like that stuff, there's like train
Aerophilia.
people, there's airplane people. So yeah, you could collect those cards, but I'm curious if it becomes one of those things that they stop doing because it's now getting viral and could be
Oh, you
annoying.
know what? I think I've seen this too on TikTok.
You've seen them do it,
I
yeah.
remember something about some type of card that you can get. So, oh man. Or maybe they're like, they should just own it and like roll with it, right? Like make it a thing. That'd be
Yeah, I don't even know how it existed to begin with. Like, what made them decide to even print these? So yeah, there's something going on. There must be a fandom so
I wonder if it
specific to
was
this.
for the littles, like
The
kids.
cartoon? Oh,
The,
no,
oh my
the
God, are you talking
littles.
about that old Nintendo or not Nintendo Nickelodeon show?
Yeah, the little cartoon. It was kind of looked like Rescue Rangers, but not. Like there's
So
like a
cute.
the littles.
Yeah, because like you know how they have special stuff for the kids on the flights already, like the little wings that you could get and
Don't have the wings anymore. Okay, so I just took
oh
American Airlines. Yep.
no.
I just flew American Airlines and my friend asked me to get the wings for her son, her little kid. For the little, oh, I'm sorry, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that.
Oh,
Unless they
I
were
remember they
lying
had like a little
to
sticky
me, but
back and you could like just
yeah.
put them right on your shirt.
Uh-huh. So cute.
Aw,
Bring those
bummer.
back. But yeah, so these airplane collector cards that you can get from the pilot. I'm still too nervous to try it. Just like walking into the plane, I'm already just nervous for some reason about everything.
Maybe on the way out.
And I just keep checking my seat because I want to make sure I don't sit in someone else's seat. So the last thing I want to do is get denied. That's the part that I'm nervous about, is getting denied or looked at funny, and then I'm just gonna feel stupid the whole
Yep, like the
flight.
Darth Vader moment with the
Yeah.
for
I'm
Kylo
like, don't look at
Ren.
me.
That's
Oh, when I
funny.
was giving Darth Vader, when I was giving a Darth Vader Disney Infinity figure to the grandson Kylo Ren at Disneyland, got rejected. They said no, and they were like serious. It wasn't in character. It was like I
It
got in
was like a
trouble.
terrorism moment or something. I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on? Why did it get so serious in here all of a sudden?
Like, oh. Yeah, I do
That's
not
so
want that
funny.
to happen to me on an airplane at all, for sure. Would you ever try it next time? What if we're both there? I can do
If
this
we
stuff
do it
with you.
together, 100%.
Yeah, it's like I have more confidence in when we're doing something silly together
Yeah,
and
totally.
asking. Yeah,
Okay, we'll have to make a plan of that next time we are together
there we go.
flying.
And then the other
Definitely.
part with aeroplanes is pets. So if you have medium to large pets, there aren't really many options aside from taking a road trip. So if you want to do a trip with your pets, and there's a lot of really cool resorts now, even at Disney World, that allow pets at the hotels, or you could do an Airbnb. So it's really fun to bring your pets. I really love it, but I can't bring them on the plane because they're a little too big. And I don't trust the cargo method, which is sometimes offered on certain airlines, but not all, where you put the dog in the cargo. That's just horrible. And horrible things
It
happen.
sounds awful and
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's scary. They would be traumatized. So make it a road trip. And that I have a tip for that, which is plan your road trip specifically based on dog parks. And
Ah.
everybody will have the best time ever. I
So they'll
promise.
have like a big reward at the end of every leg of the trip. Like,
Totally.
okay.
So when we drove from Brooklyn to Guadalajara, Mexico, I planned the whole route on Google Maps based on dog parks that were off leash. So I looked that up. There's like a whole website called, I think Bring Fido is what it is, .com. And they show you like the best off leash dog parks and all that stuff. And especially around like Tennessee, Texas area, there are so many cool places where they've created like giant off-leash dog parks with bars in the middle of it, all outdoor, like on purpose, so the adults can come hang out and have a drink, and the dogs can play. So yeah, there's a lot out there. Plan the road trip around that. That way you can get their pee and poo stops at the same time. Maybe do two a day if you want, and then you get to visit these cities that you're driving through from the perspective of like whatever that neighborhood is where you wanted to go to that park. So it like checked all the boxes by doing that. So I highly, highly recommend it.
That is very, very smart. I like that.
When they
I
get
like
real
that there's a
tired,
website for it. Like it
they'll fall
already.
asleep in the car easily because they'll be so tired.
Aw,
Yep.
that's true.
Yep.
That's cute.
But yeah, the website really was helpful.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to hotels and Airbnb, etc. And this brings us to the whole reason I decided to do this episode, and it's because I discovered this thing called Resort Pass. Have you heard of this, Mike? Like
Uh,
its own app. It's like a thing
No,
called
it's
Resort
I'm
Pass.
thinking of Movie Pass.
Oh,
And I've seen one about pools that keep showing up on my Instagram, like swim in other
yeah,
people's
I downloaded that one
pools.
for a while, even at people's houses. It's like the Airbnb for
Yeah,
pools.
it's weird.
Totally.
I think that's weird.
So Resort Pass is like, yeah, it is very weird. I don't want to be in someone's backyard. It's too personal, too personal. So Resort Pass is think of, I mean, it's basically a hotel stay without staying at the hotel. That makes sense. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so they'll sell like a day pass or an evening pass depending on the amount of time you need. Usually a day pass is all day, or you can do like an after 3 p.m. Pass and it's cheaper. And this is to use all of that hotel's amenities without having to actually stay at the hotel. So you can go to the pool, the gym. Sometimes they have water parks, sometimes they have
Oh, yeah.
beaches, cabanas, et cetera, et cetera. And so they can make this now publicly available through this app to use for the day or for the night, whatever
So
you
those
pick.
guest only areas, you'll be able to access them.
Yes. Yep.
Very cool. Very cool.
And the way I found out about this was we did a staycation last weekend, this past weekend with Nicole. Another shout out to Nicole.
Yeah.
Um, and we stayed at the hotel very close just because we wanted a hot tub and like some like space to just be loud and talk and like hang out with our friends, right? We're like, let's just get the hotel room. And then I met this family there and she goes, oh yeah, I'm here on Resort Pass. I'm like, what the heck is that? She goes, it's like $20 a day and I can bring my whole family, use the pool, the gym, etc. I was like, what? Like, that's
Wow. That's nice.
amazing. So I thought that was really cool tip. So this is maybe less traveling, but like you can do staycations, which is super cool. If you just want to go like have a nice pool and area that you don't need to like take care of, you can just do that. There are very different like a lot of different pricing. The scale is very wide depending on the style of hotel. So like the one nearby was only $20 because it's just kind of a basic hotel. It's a Marriott, it's the Aloft, if you guys are familiar. So it's nice, but it's not anything super duper fancy with a bunch of amenities. It's kind of basic pool and hot tub with a gym. That's about it. There are other places, like I said earlier, they'll get up to like $150 a day for the pass if they have like their own water park or a beach, like all this like big stuff that you can use. So that's one thing Resort Pass offers. They also have things like I was saying where you can rent cabanas or poolside suites and beach suites.
Ooh, love
So
that.
you can rent those without being a hotel guest.
We did that
Um,
quite a bit when I would visit in Arizona to my family because there are so many
yeah,
nice resorts around there. And so we would
right.
just do rent a cabana poolside. And then you get all like pampered and you get all the food and drinks you order. Yeah, and you don't even have
Yeah.
to stay at the hotel. It's great.
Yep, super nice. Great for getting away for the day without having to do a fully commit vacation, right? Um, and like I said, some of these like hotels already you can do it at. Like there's lots of stuff on this list, like the spa, for instance, but there are a lot of hotels that have the exclusivity of it being only for their guests.
Yeah.
And then this Resort Pass now has been working with these people to
Oh,
open
that's
it up
cool.
to Resort Pass
Oh, I
people
do love
also.
a spa. Um, I love when you can go to a hotel that you're not staying at. And then if you book a treatment, you can then get access to all the guest area
Right. Yep.
spots too. So that's a nice good trick too, because then at least you get like a massage out of it, especially if you don't have like the resort pass app.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally. I also found out that you can rent like they're called day rooms. So if you just need a hotel for a while, they have like 9 to 5 at a discounted rate. So if they see like low occupancy or something, they can rent them out for the day and then hopefully people come later and rent the room out. Don't go there.
There's only one reason why day rooms
No. Okay.
exist.
My innocent brain compared to yours, the first thing I thought of is when I fly to Orlando red eye and had to rent the freaking hotel room because I needed like 4 hours of sleep. Right?
Red eye.
So it's perfect for those.
I guess so. I guess so.
Because I looked at it, it was like $40 at this hotel that's normally like 150. So it's like this like midday range where they're just trying to use the room and make more money off of it. And I'm like, man, I spent like the full price for a hotel room because I didn't know there was any other. It was also a long time ago, so I don't even
But
think
that
this
is
thing
weird because
existed. But
they're like it's during the hours which is usually like turnover where you can't really check in or check out, right? That's interesting.
yep,
And if they have a room that doesn't need to be turned over, why not give it to the woman on the corner of the street and let her?
Exactly. There you go. Well, she got to be on a corner, Mike.
No, you know what? You're right. I think this is for all kinds of uses and pretty convenient, especially for those moments where you're stuck in between the Twilight Zone hours
Yep,
of hotel operations.
totally. There's also a lot of stuff you can do work related. They have Work Pass, which are like co-working spaces at some of these hotels, and they have the
Ooh.
Wi-Fi they can get you on. You can rent meeting rooms without being a guest, etc., etc. I thought the Resort Pass might specifically be really good for those days you get off the cruise. This is another day room
Oh,
reason,
yeah.
right? Like when we got off the cruise, we're like, what the heck are we going to do at 8 a.m. until our flight at 7 p.m.? Get the day room 9 to 5. It would be perfect.
Oh, that's
And we could go
perfect.
swimming, have a room to chill in, relax, take a nap, and then go to the airport, right?
That's
So
good.
see, there's another,
I'd like to try that specifically after a cruise. Yeah, I think that
see?
would be
Yeah,
the perfect reason. Yeah.
super perfect. And so when I found out about this, I was a guest at the hotel and I thought it was really cool. And I thought about what we were doing. The hotels, I could literally walk there from my house. Like it's that close. And so I was like, man, if I had known about this, we could have just done this pass and used the pool and hung out there all day and then just crashed at my house because we don't really need a hotel room, but like we wanted to just have somewhere to go to swim, really. And so I was like, darn, I wish I'd known about this. But then I started thinking about it and I noticed there was these two big families there and they are both resort pass people. So then I was like, okay, now the hot tub has been crowded for 3 hours and I haven't been able to get in it. However, if there was no resort pass, we'd be the only people here. So I started going like, okay, wait, what does this mean for the guests of the
The
hotel
actual
now?
guests, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
I think that the management have to be careful about how many, I'm assuming there's like reservations or something about
Yeah, they
how
sell out and
many.
they probably have they
Yeah.
probably can say like only 5 of these sold a day or something. I don't know how they're
I
doing
would
it.
say if the tool that has been put in place works, which it sounds like it should be reservations and keeping it limited, then I'm okay with it. But I would be totally worried about staying at a hotel and then having people, these peasants all up in there that didn't stay in here. I'm just kidding. I will happily be the peasant and I have been. But
I
there's
will be the
something
peasant
about
too.
about when you are entitled to something, which is very rare when you're actually entitled to something.
Right?
So let's say you paid, you're entitled to it, and you can't use it because of someone who had paid less than you. It's just always hard to swallow, always.
That was like kind of getting on my nerves a little bit because the like truthfully, I was very excited about the resort pass. And then I was there for like 3 hours at the pool and I just wanted to get in the hot tub and I didn't the whole time. There was like 8 kids in there. They were
Oh,
cannonballing into the hot tub.
oh
And I was
no.
just like, all right. And I real because I talked to one family and then she told me that she's seen them there before too, and they do resort pass also. And I was like, like this is $20 for their entire family. Like the whole group can come
Oh,
for
it's
that
not
price.
per person?
They do. There's two different versions depending on the hotel. The hotel I was at, it was $20 a day regular, or you could upgrade to the group pass, which is also the same price and bring your
Oh,
entire group.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't even know because I also noticed the pool door was propped open because you need a key card. And so I was like, are they
Oh,
now propping just like leaving it open? So now I'm like, am I even going to use a resort pass? I'm just going to show up at this hotel and use their pool. They weren't
right.
checking anybody. So
But
just
yeah,
like
I'm just staying upstairs in room 309.
yep, just randomly. I hope they're 3 digits.
That A loft in Newark, California, it used to be the W, right?
The W, yeah,
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 I
remember
remember.
that?
I stayed there when it was that. Yeah.
Yep. It's nice. It's fun. And it's like,
There's a bar you can go to downstairs. Yeah.
oh, it was great to have a side story. We got back really late and we were so excited to go in the hot tub at nighttime. And we didn't get home until like 45 minutes after the pool closed. And the guy at the front desk, we just asked nicely if we could sneak out there if it's just the three of us and we're quiet. And he's like, I can't offer that, but my manager's over there if you want to ask him. And he's had a few. He straight told us he's had he was like at the bar. All of his friends were there with
Oh
him.
my
He was
gosh.
drunk, and he's like, "Yeah, that sounds good to
Oh
me."
my gosh, I love it.
So we went out there. We're in the hot tub till 2 in the morning. Thank you very much.
Wow. There you
And
go, when you
this is
ask
gonna bring
nicely.
me down my list a little bit. To I have this under general tips, which is later, but it doesn't hurt to ask. I swear, you guys, get over the
Always,
pride and
everything.
just ask, because if they say no, it's fine. If they say yes, you get to do whatever you're trying to do. Like, it's super cool. And
Yeah,
honestly, we weren't doing anything wrong. The hot tub was still heated. It's not like they had to turn it on special for us. It's just, we're adults. We're going to be quiet. We're in the
there
hot
you
tub.
go.
It's fine.
And for the most part, when you ask something like that, even if they say no, you're probably not the first person who asked it, so it's
Right. Yeah,
fine.
that too. Yeah.
Do it, do it. We're just peer pressuring everybody today to do all these
I
things.
know. I know. And then I have a few other tips for hotels. And this is like, again, just ask kind of things. I found out about these as I've stayed at hotels, though. One is they usually have, not usually, a lot of hotels I've stayed at have a foam pillow that you can request. So if you're used to your like Tempur-Pedic pillow at home and then hate hotel pillows, they usually have like a foam pillow option they can send to your room if they don't already have them. There's been some hotels that we've stayed at where if you actually pay attention to the pillows or different styles of pillows, sometimes they're even labeled on the pillowcase. Like I had this one hotel where it was embroidered in white on a white pillowcase. So I didn't even notice it like the first 2 days I was
Oh,
there. And then one says soft and one said firm. So they're like different
what? I
styles of
did not
pillows.
know that.
Yep. So they're usually two different styles of pillow for each guest on the bed. And then you can also ask for a foam pillow and we'll bring it to you. So that's very cool.
And look through all the stuff like the leaflets on the table and the menu on the TV, and if there's an app, because a lot of times I've seen an actual pillow menu, which is so
Yeah. Yep.
cute, right? That's so
So
chic
cute.
and cute. I love it.
I love that. Also you can always ask for early check-in or late checkout. Doesn't hurt to ask. Sometimes if you guys haven't used it before, sometimes if your check-in says 4 p.m. and you get there at 2, if they have the room ready, they'll let you in. Same with late checkout. If checkout's at 11, you ask for late checkout, they can kind of bump you an extra hour. It's great for when you like have a flight that's just a little further away to where you have like this weird gap of time and you can spend an extra hour being super comfortable in your hotel room. So
That
highly
is
suggested.
um that is usually how I help people make a decision on when they're being peer pressured to get a credit card that has like an annual fee. Because I will tell you that the Amex card, I think it's platinum and there's some other ones. It's a hefty fee, like $400 or something like that, annual. But for most of the hotels, they're called like fine hotels and resorts, you can actually guaranteed get a 4 p.m. late checkout and like 90% of the time upon request, a 12 p.m. check-in. Isn't that crazy? That's like how a
That's
hotel
huge.
stay should
Like
be.
4 extra hours. I know, I know.
Right? So to me, that is worth whatever annual fee I had to pay for that credit card. You just use it a few times, and I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Um,
Right?
and even they go above and beyond. Sometimes I think it was you and me. We checked into like Swan, it's from Swan and Dolphin at Disney World, and then they're like, oh, and then you also get $100 toward room service or
Yeah, like
whatever.
food. We're like, what?
Yeah. So this
So
stuff pays for
cool.
itself. So if you're someone thinking about getting a credit card and you've been on the fence, I would say for traveling and the hotel perks alone, totally worth it.
Totally
Oh,
worth it.
and by the way, they also reimburse you for global entry. There you go. Goes back to the beginning.
Hey, there's your
Yeah,
free $99.
there you go.
I also wanted to go back real quick to the it doesn't hurt to ask thing, because you can also do this with flights. A lot of times you can get a free seat upgrade if they have it available. Doesn't hurt to ask. Just go to
And
the
use the
counter
word say
and ask.
free. You have to say free. I made that mistake in Vegas recently where I kept asking for an upgrade and then he kept telling me the prices to upgrade it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then,
Sometimes if they have the
yeah.
seats open, they'll just give it to you.
Well, then he said, are you asking for a complimentary? He's trying to help.
Oh,
He's
complimentary.
like,
That's even a better
complimentary
word to word than
upgrade? And I'm like, in
use
my
that
head, I'm like,
word.
duh. So I was like, yes, a complimentary upgrade. And then he moved me to the tower I wanted, the room I wanted. I gave him a tip and done and done. It was great. That's how you gotta do it. But you
Yep.
gotta say what you want.
Yep. In fact, this hotel I just stayed at, they didn't have any or it was like a big price difference for the king bed or two queens. Me and Nicole have been best friends for 30 years. So I was like, we're sharing a bed. I'm not spending extra 30 bucks. And then when I got there, I just asked, do you guys have any 2 bedrooms available? And she just moved me to a 2 bed and I didn't have to pay the extra 30 bucks. So you
There
never
you
know.
go.
You never know.
Yeah.
I have also on here one tip for traveling in general, but mostly for hotels. I have a power strip that I bought and I live by it, especially if you're always staying at different hotels. If you are like the person who always stays at Hilton and you know their products, then maybe you don't need it. But I've had so many times where I've stayed at a hotel room and they don't have any plugs where I need them or hardly any plugs at all,
It's the
but
worst.
especially no USB plugs,
I
right?
hate it. I hate it. It
Yep.
just
So I
makes you
bought,
feel so dated when they don't have them.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'm like, oh, this place. But I bought this little block that has like 4 regular outlets and like 6 USB inputs. And then you just plug that in the wall and there you go. Everything's in one spot. That's another thing. You don't have to like keep putting your plugs all around the room. You just have it all together.
that's great.
It was
And when
like
you're traveling
$8
with
on Amazon and
your travel mates will appreciate it and use it.
yes. And this is another thing that never leaves my carry-on. Just leave it in
Just
there.
leave it in
So it's
there.
never
Yeah.
in the way. It's just there for you when you need it.
Yeah, there's been too many times where I'm like digging my arm behind some nightstand, like trying to find a plug.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Like,
like, what?
totally. Trying to like plug it in sideways and upside down. You can't see what you're
Yep.
doing.
Would have been easier if you just took a breath and moved it and looked at it, but no.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially
No,
not after a day at Disneyland. You're not
no,
trying to think.
tired.
And then last thing I have on here is hotel versus Airbnb. I think you and I we're probably 50-50, right? Like I really
Yeah,
love both.
same.
It just really depends on the location, I think, for Airbnbs and the type of houses or apartments that are available. So Airbnb is like real picky because you can't like they're not
Yeah.
all similar like a hotel room would be. Um, but I really love Airbnb for groups of people. And the reason why is it just feels like a little family, like with all your friends. You guys all have your own rooms, have your own space. Try to find the place that like has their own private bathroom for every room. But then you guys all have like the same living room. And you could buy groceries and all the stuff that come with like having a home
Yeah.
for the time that you're at Disney parks or wherever you're at. And it just has a different vibe to it. And plus you could like play board games and watch movies together and be loud. Like it really changes the
And be
game.
loud. And
I'm just so always want to be loud.
I like how you can hang out in the same way you would hang out normally at home, but
Exactly.
with your people. Yep, love it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hotels, I'm always worried about being too loud. So
yeah. Hotels
Airbnb,
are
you don't have to.
good solo. It's hotels are also good if you need to be pampered for whatever reason, whether that's the special occasion itself or you just have had it and you just want everything brought to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on the reason, the occasion, state of mind, who you're with, all those things. But I do love both, and I think both of us have, yeah, that 50-50 split. Like can go
Yeah.
either way depending on the situation.
Even with just two of us, we've stayed at both and it's great both ways.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all right, things to do. So this was kind of cool to bring up that there are like some handy ways to find things to do in areas. So what do you have, Mike?
Well, you got me into escape rooms,
I did.
and I also like using the app that you introduced to me called Morty, Morty. And so the Morty app is fun because wherever you are, you can pull it up and see within your location the nearest escape rooms. They also have haunts. So depending on the time of year, you might see more like haunts, like those scary mazes and fun stuff like that. But you'll see all the escape rooms on there, plus ratings from actual people who have gone to the escape room and had bothered to download the app and review it. So these are legit reviews, and I trust them. And then
Hmm.
the other part is you can also move the location. So if you want to plan ahead, you're going to go visit somewhere next week, you can go and already start checking out the escape rooms that you might want to go to. And yeah, that has really helped me with coming up with something easy and quick because it's time bound, right? It's like going to a movie or
Right.
something, like hour and a half tops from beginning to end, and quickly plan something when you're out and about traveling.
I love it. I think that, I mean, I use it for a lot of different reasons, but one of the reasons I started using it was when I would like travel for work and I'd have like an evening open where I don't know what to do and I'm in some area I'm not familiar with. And then I would just like, what's around here for escape rooms? And I'd find, and it's just like so quick because like it's not a big commitment. It's an hour, maybe half an hour on either end to like get there on time and travel back, right? So like maybe 2 hours of your time. It fills those like weird gaps you have on vacations a lot with like a really cool experience. So highly
Oh,
recommended.
and the best part, I almost forgot about the Morty app, is you can track your journeys and progress. So it'll show you when you visit an escape room, you can go into the app and say that you've experienced it and then rate it, or you could like wish list it. So then you can always go back and see what you've done. And I'm mentioning that because I've had the app, but I haven't disciplined myself to go and mark that I've gone to these rooms. And now I'm looking at rooms again back in New York, and I'm like, I can't remember. Did I go to this or not? And I wish I used the feature. So definitely use that if you're going
You
to
can
download
look
it.
at, oh, well, you've done ones without me. I was gonna say you could look at mine and see which ones we've done together in
Oh,
New
true.
York. Another fun thing to look up is Disney drag. So we're all Disney
Yeah.
fans here, and hopefully some of you at least are drag fans or soon to be drag fans. These happen a lot in a lot of different areas. So you may be pleasantly surprised. In fact, I just recently was like, I wonder what Club Oasis if they're doing a Disney drag night again. And it's like in like 2 weeks from now. And I didn't even know it was coming up. So like it's a whole bunch of nights. So again, San Francisco, if you guys are in the Bay Area, want to go Disney drag, look up Club Oasis in San Francisco. Very fun. So you can always look that up. And then my other tip is using Groupon. Now, my first question is Groupon now embarrassing?
Yes. I I don't really think so. I'm just saying it because that's how I feel. But and it's because in the past, when I have used it, when it was like at its peak, I felt judged every time by the service provider or the hotel,
Oh,
whatever it was. Like I can already tell they're already
it's
irritated.
like using a coupon, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and it's annoying because they're missing the point. It was designed to be a customer acquisition tool. So I might
yeah, I
visit
would
the
have never
hairstylist.
known about you if it wasn't for
Exactly, yeah.
Groupon.
And then if they give you a good job instead of being rude, you will come back. That's literally the point. And so
Right.
I it happened too many times. I'm traumatized by these weird interactions. It's happened too many times where I feel like dumb or whatever. And so I think my own baggage
Ah,
is saying that I would be embarrassed to use it now, but that's me.
I haven't felt that using Groupon. However, that makes me think about Priceline. I felt like that all the time when I would use
Same.
Priceline for a
Yep.
hotel room, and they'd be like,
Every
"Oh,
time.
your Priceline," and they put you in the very back depths of the hall, like the
The
furthest hotel room you
worst.
could possibly get to.
The worst. So let me tell you, connecting this back to American Express for a second. So for a long time, when you would book through Amex, they, for whatever reason, used the Priceline software or something. So you would
Oh,
check in, actually, no, Expedia. So you would check in and they would treat you like like that, like rude. And then you have to take the extra step of being so annoying and snobby, being like, no, I booked this through American Express. And then they apologize and they take out the paper and all the stuff that's supposed to come with
ah,
the, yeah, because it doesn't tell them supposedly. But now they changed it. So that was a huge change. That happened so many times. I was always embarrassed because why do they got to treat us like that? I mean, we got a deal. Leave
there's
us
a,
alone.
you know what? There's a deal out there, and there's this app that they've created, and these hotels have signed up to use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then when us as a customer decide to save $100 on this application versus buy it direct, then they treat us like the peasant scum. Excuse me, you're
Yeah.
the one who signed up for that. And
Right.
second of all, don't you dare take my advice about asking for free upgrades if you are a Priceline
Oh
user, because
yeah.
they will definitely comment every single
Yeah.
time. Because I have asked, I'm like, is there a way I could stay near the elevator? I often ask for that so I don't get stuck at the end of the hallway. And they go like, "Oh, sorry, Priceline rooms are kind of whatever you get." And I'm like, "Ugh," like just hecka rude and make me feel
Every
terrible.
time. They won't help you with anything.
Nothing.
You have to call Priceline. Call
They're like,
Priceline.
"Oh, let me take that complimentary bottle water away from." I thought you were here
You
with Visa.
peasant. Do you also have resort pass? Are going to use our pool too?
Yeah, you have to upgrade
Oh
to
my
resort
gosh.
pass. Oh my gosh. So
Uh,
Groupon, I have not had that problem with. However, Mike has, so you never know
I
what you're
didn't
gonna
even
get.
know it was still around. Like there
It
were so
is.
many like copycats, right? Life something. I was Living Social. Living Social I was
Living
using for a
Social, I
while.
forgot about that
Uh,
one. But
yeah.
Groupon for me was another like work trip thing, just like Morty. So this is pre-Morty, but like it's everything else. So like I often use it for like those weird, dumb little things I just want to do when I'm by myself. Like I went on like a 1920s gangster tour
Oh, okay. Yeah.
in Chicago when I was by myself. I was like, oh, I've got time to kill, and this sounds like fun, whatever. And I was like a Groupon moment, it was like 20 bucks, easy peasy, right? So yeah, so it's good for some things. It's good for finding fun things to do for sure.
Oh,
Lots of food tours on there too, if you guys are into
and
that.
by the way, the reason why I'm just realizing it had changed so much when it first came out, you couldn't unlock the deal for yourself until you invited enough people to do it with you. Hence Groupon.
Groupon?
Yeah, that was the whole.
Oh,
I just
I don't think I
remember
was part
that.
of it yet.
That's how it worked. And it didn't mean you have to go with them to those things, but they had to unlock it. Something like that. But then it became just
Oh my
too
gosh.
easy that they just like took that away completely and it just became more of a yeah, like a discount site.
Oh my gosh. I
Wow.
thought it was
I
supposed to be like
forgot.
group sales pricing or something. I don't know. I think I just made it up in my head.
I until we kept saying the word right now, I totally forgot about that. Wow. The
And then
origins.
also, since you brought up living social, there's a ton of other things you could use during traveling. Like, for instance, here in San Francisco, there's free, fun, cheap SF or something like that.
Oh,
And they have a list of tons of fun things to do that are free or cheap. And it's really cool. Like,
I
that's if
use
you're into like just doing something cool that you don't want to think about having to spend a bunch of money on, you just want to do it because it can suck and it's okay. Do you know what I mean?
oh,
But it's
that's
still
good
fun.
too.
Yeah.
Low risk, high reward, something like
Yes.
that. I use something called Vi. I don't know how to pronounce it. Viator,
Hmm.
Viator. And yeah, for those things, like if you're looking to do a side tour while you're somewhere, I'm thinking again, always good to fill those weird dead spaces between hotel check-in and check-out.
Right.
The
See, that's
Twilight
that
Zone.
day pass. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Uh,
Which, speaking of, I remember the day room at this hotel was also 20 bucks, which I think is cheaper than what they offer you to extend your stay longer.
you're like, I'll just get
So,
another room for the
yeah, just
day,
check
right? Yeah.
into that. Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
Okay. General tips. There are a few left. I put on here sign up for rewards and for like everything. Like
This
anywhere
is
you
why
go.
your inbox is on thousands.
Yes. Yes. But it's free stuff or free money or free stuff,
On your birthday,
things,
especially,
whatever.
right? You get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and when you like sign up, they give you bonuses too. So like you can have like a free cabana if you stay at this hotel or whatever it is. Like there's a lot of
Totally.
bonuses for signing up. And then every time that you use the hotel or all the way down to like fast food restaurants have points, like just like I remember one of our friends said that he won't use the Starbucks app because he doesn't like getting free stuff because
What?
he's too sassy for free stuff, whatever. But I'm like, what are you talking about? First
So
of all, the
dumb.
Starbucks app has mobile order. You don't have to wait in line and you
Yeah.
get free drinks all the time. Like, what is wrong with you? So,
I bet you
just a
he's one of those
reminder.
people who never even use those punch cards where they punch a little hole punch through it. That's basically what this has
That's
turned
totally
into,
what it
the
is.
old school
It's
version.
exactly what
Yeah.
it is. But you don't have to carry it with you. It's just in
Don't
your
have to
phone.
carry it. I love all the rewards, all the things. Even casino resorts in Vegas. If you go to
Oh
the
yeah, casinos is a
bar,
big one.
get your casino membership card. It's free, totally free. Tons of free stuff. But then if you put it in the machines at the bar while you're playing, you get free drinks. Free drinks. These are drinks that are like $12 for a Corona normally. So you don't
Right.
want to pay for that. It's not meant to be paid for. What they want you to do is get the rewards card, put it in, play, have a little fun, get your free drinks, do it, sign up.
And usually they'll give you money to gamble with too, like
Oh
20
yeah.
bucks worth of
Yep.
gambling money.
20 bucks play money. Like here, go win
Or like
something.
a free, like a discounted dinner at the buffet or something too. It's just like
Yep.
insane, like all the free stuff you can get out of it. Casinos are good for that, for sure.
Worth it.
And then I have one random tip that's probably pretty obvious to everybody, but I added it because it makes a big difference for me. And I've seen a lot of people not doing this, and it kind of drives me nuts. If you travel with black luggage, specifically black luggage, put an identifier on your bag. People don't do it. And I've seen people grabbing other people's bags all the time at the airport. And I'm just like, dude, just put something. So like I had a black luggage bag and I just simply put a little bandana on it that's a bright color. So now I can immediately see it, or like a ribbon or whatever you want to identify your bag. It's real simple. You don't spend any money, grab something in your house and just stick it on there and it'll change.
Something notice a bright color is
Yeah,
good,
you don't have to
right?
do any of the stress of like looking at every single bag that goes by and then grabbing someone else's bag and
You know,
getting embarrassed. Like it's
you're
just
still gonna
weird
look at
that
every
people don't do it.
bag as it goes by. Oh, but you know what I hate is when they pick up your bag, or I've seen them pick up someone else's bag that's not theirs, whether it's mine or, and then they don't put it back. So unless the person
They
happens
just
to
leave it
walk to
standing
that
next to them
spot,
or something.
yeah, if unless you walk to that spot, you won't see it. You'll be watching all the bags go
That would
by, and
drive me
some,
nuts. I would
right?
be very upset.
Some loser took it off and just left it.
It's hecka rude. People are so inconsiderate.
So we lose all manners when we travel. Not we, as
Yeah,
in
what
me and you,
is
but like
that?
human beings. I did see something cute recently where somebody brought a Lightning McQueen, like mini suitcase, like kid
Mhm.
size, and it was driving around the
Oh,
carousel.
I saw that
You saw it?
too.
It was like on TikTok. So cute, so cute.
That's hecka cute. And then last up, you have something about collecting.
Oh yeah, you know, we got to get souvenirs. So a good way to end this traveling episode is, what do you do when you're done with your trip or you're nearing the end of your trip and you want to make sure that you have something to bring back home that will feel special and, you know, remind you of the experience you had. So what are your go-to souvenirs? Do you have a go-to souvenir?
I kind of do. I am not consistent with it though. And then sometimes I'll think about it later. I'm like, oh, I didn't grab one of those. I should have. But I usually get a magnet.
Ooh,
Like
magnets are good, yeah.
I try to keep it small. My fridge is always, if you guys have ever seen my house, my fridge is annoying. Like it has shit all over it. So magnets are cute and you can kind of collect your little travel magnets, and it's small and it's in one space all the time and it just keeps it there. That's kind of how I roll with souvenirs. Um, I also, when I was in Europe and I did like that Euro trip, I was backpacking, so like I didn't have space to collect souvenirs and carry them with me the whole trip. So I got things that were super small, like really itty bitty or like flat or something. And so I had one from every country that I kept. And I put it in this little pocket on the outside of
Wow.
my backpack, and that's all I needed. And it actually ended up being really cute. It's like this little row of these tiny little things. Like I have a little mini Eiffel Tower, for instance, is one of them, and
Oh,
it's like,
that's cute. I like it. They're
yeah,
like scout badges of honor,
yeah, yep,
of
totally.
travel
What do you
honor.
get?
Over the decades, my like theme has changed a little bit. So for a long time, I was doing magnets. And that was especially like in my 20s when I was traveling a lot for work. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just get magnets. It's easy, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
And then
Oh, and
and then I
cheap.
and cheap, so easy, cheap, and you can get it up to the last second at the airport if you need to. It's like
Right.
there. But then I got married, and this man won't let me clutter up our refrigerator
I could see that.
with magnets. Yep. So I moved on from that. I still have them. Would be funny to put them back up somewhere and see where the travel collection stopped. Like
Oh,
what
yeah.
destination.
What was
Um,
the last trip?
and then after magnets, I kind of went into just kind of miscellaneous things. So I usually look for ashtrays, matches, which are harder to find these days with
Yeah.
no smoking in restaurants and stuff. Matches. I like to go and find a used record store and buy some vinyl records to bring back. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be local to the area, but it's just a fun experience. And I will remember that I got this particular Ella Fitzgerald live vinyl
That's
from
pretty cool. And then you might start
Montreal.
attaching a song to a location that has
Yeah,
nothing to do with it, really. That's kind of cool.
that's cool. And we sometimes get ones that we don't even know. Like if the cover just looks
Yeah.
fabulous, we'll just be like, okay, let's see who this disco person was. So that's always fun, and then you can keep playing it. But more recently, since I've been able to put up a Christmas tree every year for maybe like the last 4 years now, I've finally become the person who collects Christmas ornaments. And I love it. It brings me back the joy I had when I was collecting magnets. Because then I'm
Okay.
like on the hunt. As soon as like I start getting in the shopping mode of that trip, I'm on the hunt. Like, oh, I want to get the best ornament for this particular trip. And you could even still get it up into the airport if you haven't found it. And then every Christmas, you put up your tree and you unpack your ornaments, and then you just are so happy. You see all these
That is
stories and
pretty cool. All those
past trips.
memories like encapsulated
Yeah,
into each of those ornaments. That's really
it's so
cool. I
fun.
like
And I
that.
love a cluttered Christmas tree. I don't like the ones where it's all uniformed as one color. So yeah, make it messy. Get all kinds of weird ones. The Disney obviously has the Disney. Disney has like so many good ones. Like most of mine are Disney. Have to get one at least every trip. And then you can get ones with like a year on it or with the name of the place. So ornaments are really fun. And then some other kind of just miscellaneous things that I like to bring home to use when I'm souvenir shopping. Soap, totally like one of those people. I just like to smell it, and then it just sits in my bathroom for years. And then when I need a soap and I run out of regular soap, luckily I have
Like an
that one.
emergency soap. Yeah.
Emergency soap. Yep. So decor and functional. Candles, love candles. I also use the candles in the hotel room as soon as I
You
buy
do.
it. So that's a nice way to keep everything smelling good. I don't think you're allowed to, but you didn't hear that from me. And then something for the dogs too. Like I'll get them a
Aw,
treat or a
that's
toy.
thoughtful.
Um,
Now,
but
is it
yeah,
hard going back to the ornaments? Is it hard to find ornaments when it's like July?
not as hard as you'd think if you're looking for them.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Like almost every souvenir shop year round will have a section for Christmas ornaments.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
did not know that.
Like think of those shops like in LA they have like the Oscars, the fake Oscar statues, or
Yeah.
New York it's like Statue of Liberty. Like those kind of souvenir shops where they're a little overpriced, they will almost always have Christmas section.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
it must be a popular one. I did
Me and
not
those
know
other
that.
old ladies were fighting for the best Christmas
The
ornament.
Golden Girls. I love it. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up our travel tips for today. I hope they can be somewhat useful to some of you. Thank you all for joining us with all of these tips going from hotels to flights to road trips with puppies and all the other things as well.
So much fun and safe travels to everybody. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed episode 196 of the Disneyholics Show.
Follow us on social media at the Disneyholics.
And if you want to get in touch, send us a DM on Instagram or contact us at thedisneyholics.com.
Okay,
Okay,
bye. Bon
bye.
voyage.
Bon voyage.